Hey guys, before I get into my 2019 Lion King review, I really want to just read to you the Facebook status that I posted this morning because I feel like it generally encompasses like what I truly feel about the film. Jasmine and I did make our own separate review that I will show you in this video in just a few minutes, but I want to also just read you the status and also bring up a couple of things that I forgot to bring up in the review coming up. So let me just read to you the status that I posted this morning. Okay, so I said as follows: just as a heads up, my overall opinion on the Disney remakes is that I'm more excited about them than not because I'm a Disney fan. I don't have any memories of seeing these classic films in the theaters as a kid, so I love that I get to experience something close to that as an adult when I can remember and appreciate it more. I don't necessarily agree with Disney making more money this way in the sense of remaking films that are only aged about 20 to 30 years, but there is a generation to think about, and the remakes as a whole haven't completely been horrible. I probably read that a little wrong, but you know, I'm just reading as I go. Okay, so The Lion King is my favorite non-princess Disney movie, and I'm a huge fan of the storyline. Simba's ceremony in the beginning 9 times out of 10 makes me cry, and it didn't disappoint this time around. The cinematography alone makes this movie worth seeing. I gotta edit that. The cinematography alone makes this movie worth seeing. The humor and voice acting, especially with Timon and Pumbaa, was excellent. The musical scoring, heart faces. The CGI was impeccable and completely realistic. I really don't think people are appreciating how far animation has really come. And Beyonce did not have too many lines. Had to add the claps for emphasis. You're not going to hire one of the highest paid celebrities to do a couple of lines. Sorry. Especially in a world where female empowerment is not only now recognized but celebrated, and Beyonce literally embodies the essence of that. She had just enough lines. She also didn't overthrow any of the other voice actors in the movie. She kept it pretty tamed actually, and we all know how extra she could get. Her presence was definitely known, but that's not what I was thinking of whenever I heard Nala speak. Overall, I really did enjoy this film, and I think it was the best of the remakes so far. I would highly recommend watching this movie if you're a Disney fan, a Lion King fan, and or a comedy genre fan. To put this into perspective, my boyfriend really liked this movie, and he doesn't enjoy watching movies, doesn't like Disney, and especially hates musicals. With that being said, it definitely isn't perfect. There are a bunch of not so subtle nuances that make you realize the classic is a classic for a reason. For example, the soundtrack, facial expressions, and intonations in the characters' words are all better in the original, but this film makes you appreciate the 1994 hit. These remakes cannot make everyone happy. People get mad when a remake is too close to the original because of the lack of originality and they want something different. People get too mad when it strays from the original because they expect to see a carbon copy play in front of them. My advice before seeing this film is to go in with an open mind, and to remember that if you become disappointed and don't already have the classic movie at home, you can always buy it and just watch that over and over again without expecting anything new. Then I also kind of inserted a blurb in here because it was getting too real at this point, and I said I just love how a lot of people are forming their own opinions about a movie they have never even seen, so to speak. They're just basing them off of what critics, strangers, and their peers are saying. Watch the movie for yourself and form a valid opinion. If you choose not to see it, then how can you legitimately back up your feelings about it? It's one thing to see clips from the film surrounded by the harsh criticism of someone you may or may not know, but to actually experience the entire thing on your own is another. Basically, yeah, overall I enjoyed the film. As far as Beyonce, because a lot of people have issues with Beyonce voicing Nala, and honestly, when the trailer came out, I did too. I had no hesitation of, you know, stating my concern about Beyonce voicing Nala because we all know she's extra. We all know, she is naturally vocally expressive. She's just extra. There's really no way around it. So, I mean, when she acts, when she sings, when she even speaks, it's just all, it's all heightened. You know, it's very different from what a normal person would do. Compared to her singing in other works of art, she didn't do too many runs as I expected that she was going to do. I think, she did a good job with just, containing herself for this film. But at the same time, it's not Beyonce if she doesn't do vocal runs, so you just kind of have to work around that. People are saying that the animals' facial expressions are what like kills the movie, or like what had a big part in making this movie like 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, is because like of the facial expressions from the animals. This is not a realistic storyline. It's literally about a lion cub whose king father was murdered by the uncle, and he's taking his place back as king after he ran away. I mean, it's not a realistic story. This is not a realistic movie. Although at the same time it's trying to look and seem realistic, you gotta kind of pick and choose. Like, you can't say you want more facial expressions in animals, because it's not gonna happen in the... Stop. Also, I really want to point out more about the music than I did in the movie review coming up. I absolutely just love the instrumentals and the scoring in this film. Like, I can't say that enough. I forget which scene it was. I think it was like the opening ceremony scene, you know, with Simba's like birth presentation. The instrumentals, I feel like there was such a heavy presence of the flute, and if you are like a diehard Titanic movie fan like I am, if you've seen that movie like countless of times and you can kind of like replay the instrumentals in your head from that movie, it sounds so similar like to Titanic. Like the ending scene in the Titanic movie when like Jack and Rose like reunite, there is this like flute bit, and it's so similar to that in the Lion King movie, and I just really appreciated that. You know, I really liked the sound of the flute, so that was really nice to hear. Also with the hyenas, overall, I really love them. Shenzi, the only female hyena of the pack, like, she was not meant to be funny as opposed to the other two hyenas were. She's like the leader of the hyena group, and like she's more dangerous and more serious than the other hyenas. Where I mean, like, especially with Keegan Key and Eric Andre, they're comedians, and Florence isn't, you know, so naturally Keegan and Eric are gonna give a more comedic feel to the hyenas than Florence would, so like that would make more sense. But yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say in this bit before I move on into the movie review coming up with Jasmine. I really just wanted to get all of my thoughts and opinions out. I really wanted to flush this out of my system, so let's get on into the... Hey Disney Dreamers, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Lenise.
I'm Jasmine.
This is Elzeyenchanted. Guess what we just saw? It's the circle of life. Circle of life. Let's just jump right in because I don't want to waste your guys' time. Overall, how did you like it?
I give it a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it.
This was the best remake from the Disney Renaissance era. The CGI photorealistic version. Like, it was really good, but it definitely was like shot for shot.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, that didn't bother me.
It didn't
brings
bother me.
Back the nostalgia.
Exactly. I can see why people would get mad because it's like there's no. But honestly, we were just talking about this. Like, as soon as we got at the movie, like you can't make everyone happy. People would have been mad if it was too different from the classic. Because like, oh, they didn't do this, they didn't do this. And then if it's too close to the classic, oh my gosh, like where's the originality? So like
exactly.
So it's really a catch
a balance. A little more on the original, but it had some new things in
yeah.
it, you know.
It's a catch-22, but I enjoyed it more. I think because like Lion King is my favorite non-Princess Disney movie.
Oh, yeah.
A huge fan of the Lion King, so like it was nice to see it on the big screen. It looked so realistic. Oh my god, friggin' breathtaking!
So like,
the score
all that
made me emotional.
I cried in the beginning.
Me too. The beginning always gets to me.
Like,
when like Simba is presented to all the animals and they bow down, like I couldn't. To see it look so realistic, literally like
it was just like
gushing.
Like the circle of life, animals, like
it's very beautiful. But yeah, I don't even know if I saw that movie in the theaters when I was little, but if I did, I don't remember it. So it was nice
I remember
to
VHS.
See it. Yeah, it was nice to see it
on
like in the
big
theaters.
Screen, like,
so let's talk briefly about characters. Okay, so who was your favorite?
Okay, Timon and Pumbaa were just awesome.
Freaking stole the show.
Shout out Seth Rogen.
They did a great... Timon was so funny. They did a great job together.
Good duo. That was the best duo.
Good duo, yeah. Good. I think, honestly, overall, voice casting was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
And I was nervous about Beyonce even because you know how extra she is, or or how extra she can be.
She's Beyonce.
She was. She's the queen. She was kind of chill.
Like, she didn't try to overthrow the movie, basically. It was still about Simba.
Like, you were very aware. Yeah, you were very aware that she was Beyonce, but, like, it didn't take away from the movie.
We're used to that deep, harsh, you know, Scar voice.
Yeah, which he did.
But I was trying not to, you know, like, compare too much.
He did that in Be Prepared.
No, yeah, it was getting deeper, yeah.
But Be Prepared, like, this is not really a spoiler, but Be Prepared is, like, shortened in the movie.
So be prepared.
It is shortened in the movie, but, like, I feel like that's why he vocalized a lot in that movie.
Yeah, like,
it was very powerful in the song Be Prepared, only for, like, one verse.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was shortened, so he was trying to give it his all or whatever. But, I said this before, like, Scar reminds me of Jafar, like, the two are, like, very similar to me. And in these remakes, they're just not, they're not as intimidating as the animated versions.
Yeah, which
so
is like...
that was kind of disappointing a little bit. But it really, I honestly liked Scar in this remake better than the Jafar remake.
Yeah,
for
sure.
God,
yeah, that was definitely...
way better this
it's
time.
It's still, yeah, that's still toxic.
Jafar sucks! I love Shenzi, the hyena.
Yes.
I really liked her voice acting. I loved listening to her. The hyenas were funny. Well, not her, but like the other
the one
two
that was
guys.
supposed to be Ed and the other guy.
Yeah, very, very funny.
You know, they had
Simba was so cute. Oh yeah, Simba was very, very cute. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, Mufasa's death. How did it make you feel?
I still cried, and I don't
know. Spoiler alert: Mufasa dies.
Obviously. Oh, I don't know. Maybe people haven't seen.
How did Mufasa's death make you feel?
I was still sad. It felt a little faster. And,
really?
You know, obviously, there's some differences, but
yeah,
I still cry because it still makes me sad.
I haven't cried during Mufasa's death in a very long time. Like, I only almost cry every time during the beginning scene. So Mufasa's death, it didn't really affect me this time. I thought it would.
Not even when he's like, Dad, help! Like that.
It was sad. It was sad, but like, I have no soul when it comes to that part anymore because like I've seen it so many times.
Yeah,
but the way Scar said like "Long live the king" in the original, I love, and then like in this remake, the way he did it like made me laugh, which I didn't expect. So definitely took away from the scene. But that's sometimes I just take things differently than people. Speaking of the freaking hyena, or not the hyena, Timon and Pumbaa version of the hula, the hula part this time.
Oh my God.
We can't say like what they did instead of it, but like
if you did see it, you know, comment below.
So freaking fun.
That was a great. It was like, you know what, they were meta.
Perfect.
Timon and Pumbaa were kind of like meta in a way.
It's like we were both getting hyped, and then it just happens, and then it kind of gets cut off or whatever, and then we just start busting out laughing. Like, they did a perfect thing with that scene. Christian's never seen The Lion King, like the original one, so this was the first time he's actually seen the movie from beginning to end, which is horrible. But this is exactly why he needs someone like me in his life to show him, you know? But he really liked... I don't know. He wasn't.
We sang all the
liked
songs
the movie.
And stuff.
Oh yeah, it was
happy
fun.
I was singing around with it.
The cloud scene with Mufasa when he was like telling Simba
the voice
to
was
remember.
Exactly like if they took it
pretty
from the movie.
much.
But
the cloud scene was very different.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight was freaking.
That was I liked this Can You Feel the
version.
Love Tonight version better than the
Especially
animated.
It had
I've never really liked
Beyonce's
it.
voice, so.
Yeah, it was nice. The song version was nice. I never really liked the animated version of Can You Feel the Love Tonight. Okay, so there is one thing. It's not really a spoiler because it really doesn't add to the plot of the movie. It's just something in the classic that I honestly like. I missed, okay? So it's when Zazu is imprisoned by Scar and he's like singing all these songs to Scar to entertain him. And he's like, it's a small world after all. And it's funny because like I honestly growing up didn't know what that song was, and now like knowing it's the actual attraction in Disney World. Zazu was funny.
Zazu.
I liked it. But overall I think literally like a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, the only issue was, yeah, it was way too on the nose of the original, but I love the original so much that, like, I don't really have an issue with it. I don't mind paying money to see a movie like that because I just love the original so much. Such a huge fan. Had good company to watch it with.
Yeah.
there obviously are some like nuances that make you realize that the classic is a classic for a reason, but that's why we have the classics. We watch it all the time.
Exactly.
I'm sure like with these movies we appreciate the classics more, because every time you see the remake and there's something that they don't do that's in the classic, you're like, oh, why didn't you know, like watch the original.
Not compare. I'm trying to look at it from different point of view. But I'm happy overall that I was excited about it and that I actually liked it.
This was the film, like, the #1 Disney remake that I was looking forward to, like, all year.
I was scared about this one the most.
Oh,
I was like, CGI animals. Like, how are they gonna do this?
They did such an amazing job.
Like,
John did a great job directing. Like, I still haven't seen the Jungle Book, so I need to see that. Guys, thanks so much for watching. It was great overall, and if you haven't seen it yet, definitely go and see it. We both highly recommend it. Yes.
Remember, Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. Yeah. Don't be like Christian and like have never seen The Lion King before seeing this. Like, if you haven't seen the original one, what are you doing with your life? But see it before you see this remake. If you have seen the remake, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please click that big red subscribe button. And click the bell notifications button so you don't miss a single video. That about wraps it up. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!